This nuclear saber rattling of Russia is unjustified, it's destabilizing, and it's dangerous.
Another not-so-clandestine shoe is dropped in the Edward Snowden case, and not the one with the conveniently hidden telephone in the heel. While that may be getting attention of American and British intelligence experts, the opening of a military Disneyland in Russia has set a few trigger fingers on edge because of what was also mentioned in the announcement. For the latest, let's turn to the former intelligence officer, now director of the Global Initiative on Civil Society and Conflict, Colonel Derek Harvey. Colonel, it's always a pleasure to get a chance to talk to you, and it seems like every time we do, things get ratcheted up just a little more. Here's Vladimir Putin now at the opening of something called Patriot Park, which is almost fun for the family with a militaristic twist. And at the same time, he announces that Russia's going to put 40 new ICBMs into service this year. How concerned should we be?
Well, I think we should be concerned about the overall pattern. It's not just these 40 new ICBMs that the Russians claim are going to be able to penetrate the latest and best defense systems that are available in the West, but it's a pattern of provocations on the Alaskan coast with their bombers, provocations over England, Northern Europe, submarine activity, a whole range of things. It's not just Crimea and Ukraine. They are coercing and intimidating Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and trying to intimidate the United States.
Colonel Harvey, he may be borderline insane, or at least some people may think that, but Vladimir Putin is not a stupid man. Everything that you just mentioned here just seems to be game playing more than anything else. Is it possible that that's all he's doing and just puffing up his chest for his people?
It's not just domestically driven. It is focused on trying to achieve strategic objectives for Russia in Europe, in Asia, and particularly in what they consider their global competition with the United States.
With regard to that global competition, then, the United States earlier in the week said we are going to start putting some material close to the border. They're basically talking about the Russian border and helping to bolster NATO again. Are we looking then at other countries, other NATO countries, who, if indeed we're there and we're involved in what might be seen as a provocation, will they back us 100% if we have to go nose to nose with Putin?
I don't see any of the Western European traditional allies being steadfast in defending Eastern Europe at this point in time, be it the United Kingdom, France, or Germany. And that is why Poland and the other Eastern European countries are so persistent in trying to get the United States to commit to providing military assistance and presence in their countries.
If we boil this down, then, are we just looking at what is the era, a new era of appeasement, if you will? Because what you're saying sounds an awful lot like past transgressions that have happened and how European military conflicts started in the past, letting somebody continue to take a nibble every day.
Well, there is a pattern there that we need to be concerned about. And I think when we look at Eastern Europe, the provocations that have been continuing are designed to undermine Western European cohesion and unity. And I think Vladimir Putin is succeeding in his effort, and unless there's real committed U.S. leadership, which is what many in Europe are looking for, there's going to be severe doubt about the ability of the United States to provide the support required for the security of that region.
Colonel Harvey, what are our NATO allies afraid of?
They're afraid of Russian aggression. It's very easy. They've already done cyber attacks in some of the countries in Latvia. They've undermined the security apparatus and penetrated some of the government activities there in Estonia. And you see what they're doing in Ukraine by low-intensity conflict and pressure. And they also use their economic card. They threaten the cutoff of vital natural gas, which the Europeans are dependent upon. So there's two things here. It's an economic squeeze and military pressure.
I got about 2 minutes left. Let me turn to the spying that I talked about earlier. Russian and Chinese intelligence agencies have reportedly decrypted the files of the former U.S. National Security Agency contractor and the leaker, Edward Snowden. They have apparently ID'd British and U.S. secret agents. How bad has that now crippled, or has it even further crippled, our intelligence gathering capabilities?
What has clearly crippled our intelligence capabilities based upon our covert clandestine spy networks in a number of countries. the fact that you've had to remove probably long-standing spies and the support networks in those areas not only eliminates that activity, but it prevents us from getting back in there over a long period of time, because they also learned our operational procedures, how we manage these people, the tactics and techniques that are employed by them, and they can look at those patterns and probably identify others in not just in Eastern Europe or Russia or China, but elsewhere.
In your opinion, then, how long will it take not only the United States but the United Kingdom to get back to some level of intelligence gathering, having to put all those agents back into place and set new procedures?
This could take a decade or more to really reestablish longstanding networks that were in place. And on top of this, Ed, the penetration of the records of all of those military and government employees with their security clearance data, et cetera, a sophisticated data mining application with the right algorithms can also identify a lot of vulnerabilities, particularly our overseas networks, if they're really good at what they're doing.
I only got about 10 seconds here, but very quickly, fair to say that if the Russian and Chinese have it, other people are going to get it. It'll be sold along the black market?
Absolutely correct, sir. And the other thing is there's also the issue of what happens with these individuals about identity theft. And, they got everything that they need to set up a new identity and to penetrate and maybe even blackmail some of these individuals down the road.
Those who have called Edward Snowden a traitor may not be far from the truth, because certainly we are still feeling the effects. Colonel Derek Harvey, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, good night.
All right, stay with us, everybody. The fastest 60 minutes in news, The Hard Line, continues.